With over 16 million followers on Twitter, over 1.7 million subs on YouTube, and 17 million followers on Instagram, Fabrizio Romano is the #1 source for football news, especially when it comes to transfers. But his rise to the top was unexpected, but also somehow inevitable. It also hasn't been the easiest, and time after time he's pushed himself to and probably beyond the brink. This is the rise of Fabrizio Romano.
Here we go.
Focusing on reporting accurate transfer news rather than trying to be the first to a story, Fab set his standards from an early age in his native Naples, where he went to high school in the morning and wrote about Italian football in the afternoon. Having moved to Milan aged 18, a young Fabrizio was able to break his first ever transfer story when an Italian agent in Barcelona contacted him to help report a story about two of his clients in 2011. These weren't your average fourth-year journeymen either. Those players turned out to be Argentine striker Mauro Icardi and Spanish forward Gerard Deulofeu. Romano was the first to report Icardi's move from Barcelona's under-19 team to Serie A side Sampdoria. Fast forward 2 years later, and Icardi's move from Sampdoria to Inter Milan represented our favorite Italian's first major transfer scoop. Over the years, the journalist has forged some very strong connections by waiting around luxurious hotels, bars, and restaurants in Milan to speak to everyone from agents to sporting directors and even club officials. When I was 18, I started working with Sky Italy. I had the opportunity of having first contacts with Italian football people, Romano said. However, his mentor played a major role in this evolution, as Gianluca Di Marzio, a senior Italian transfer journalist, took Fabrizio under his wing and introduced him to many of his contacts at major clubs across Europe. Given many of the sporting directors and top player agents, including Mino Raiola, Jorge Mendes, and Jonathan Bartnett, either live in or frequently visit Milan, there was a network of sources to build upon. Today, the Fabrizio Romano brand has been established as one of the most trusted sources for breaking football news. In a world where anyone can buy a blue check and spread rumors about their favorite club, Romano has remained a beacon of legitimacy. Par for the course, he's been able to use his ever-growing social reputation to increase his reach in the international space. In the search for updates and transfer exclusives, reliable news sources are regular destinations for anxious fans desperate for clarity on the behind the scenes of the business. That's why Fab has become the king of the European transfer market. The man never misses and is always on the money. Bringing an audience on social media was so important to contact people from all over the world, Romano once said concerning his following, because if you send a message over the phone, maybe they're not trusting you. On social media, they can see who you are, how serious you are, who's following you, who's trusting you. Since the 2020 winter transfer window, Romano's fame has reached new levels across the world, following the long saga of Manchester United's interest in Bruno Fernandes, which began in the previous summer window. Manchester United fans were desperate and attacking me, saying, "How is it possible in Portugal they were saying it was done, and in England too? Why are you saying no?" Romano recalled. It was a no because he was not joining United at that time. And then in January, when he joined United and they said, "Now it's done," I said, "Here we go," with a picture of Bruno Fernandes with his agent on a plane ready to fly to Manchester. That was the key one. But this kind of life has its limits, and at times it was proving more of a curse than a blessing. The football calendar is a never-ending reel of intense action all the time. If something happens, you can bet Fab will be tweeting about it. Real Madrid signing Jude Bellingham? Fab is on it. Arsenal stealing Declan Rice? You probably got a notification about it. Kylian Mbappe announcing his favorite food? Of course, Fab's got you covered. The busiest time of the year is undoubtedly during the summer and winter transfer windows, when the 30-year-old reportedly sleeps only 5 hours a day, from 5 AM to 10 AM, in order to keep track of transfer information. Romano makes over 50 calls a day to agents around the world. Through this, he has built a dynamic journalism empire on the biggest transfer stories in the world by producing content on various social media platforms, as well as mainstream media outlets like Sky Sports, CBS Sports, and The Guardian. Being the world's top football football transfer journalist, and maintaining such a high level of accuracy is a very difficult job that comes with a fair share of sacrifices for a young man. Where many others would rather enjoy some time off and a summer vacation, Romano works hard to keep fans abreast of the ongoings at their favorite club. Fabrizio Romano is football's mouthpiece. Better yet, he's football's megaphone. Nothing happens in the world of football without Fab telling you about it. He's had to work immensely hard to get to where he is, and sacrifice much of his life for our benefit. Yet, if you ask him, he'd do it all again. He's the man with the news, the guy with the gossip, the king of the transfer market.